110 people boarded Avianca Flight 203 expecting a normal flight to Cali, Colombia. None of them survived. Because one man, Pablo Escobar, wanted just one person dead. And he didn't care how many innocent lives it cost. This is the true story of how the world's most dangerous drug lord, Pablo Escobar, turned a commercial airliner into a flying coffin just to stop a presidential candidate. On the morning of November 27, 1989, Avianca Flight 203 departed Bogotá's El Dorado International Airport on what was supposed to be a short domestic flight to Cali. On board were 107 passengers and 6 crew members. But within minutes of takeoff, the aircraft exploded at 13,000 feet, raining metal and human remains over the town of Socha. There were no survivors. The investigation begins. Early theories point to mechanical failure. But it doesn't take long for the truth to surface. A bomb was planted under seat 18F, concealed inside a cassette recorder. A man named Alberto Prieto, a low-level criminal with ties to Escobar, had unknowingly carried the device onto the plane. He believed he was testing a recording system for a cartel associate. He died in the explosion. But Prieto wasn't the real target. Escobar's intended victim was Cesar Gaviria, a presidential candidate fiercely opposed to the Medellín Cartel. Gaviria had been scheduled to fly that day, but he changed his plans at the last minute. The attempt failed. But Escobar's message was clear. No one was untouchable. So who was the man behind this unimaginable act? Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born in Rio Negro, Colombia, in 1949. He grew up in Medellín and entered crime early, stealing tombstones, dealing in contraband, and running protection rackets. By the late 1970s, he discovered cocaine. His organization, the Medellín Cartel, perfected a supply chain from the coca fields of Peru and Bolivia through Colombian labs and into the U.S. He innovated routes, smuggling through Miami, flying under radar, even hiding drugs in children's toys and frozen fish. Escobar's operation became the most powerful drug cartel in the world, supplying over 80% of the U.S. cocaine market. He made an estimated $70 million a day. He became a billionaire, buying mansions, private jets, and a 7,000-acre estate called Hacienda Napoles, complete with a zoo and a racetrack. He burned $2 million in cash to keep his daughter warm. But wealth wasn't enough. Escobar wanted to be seen as a hero, a Robin Hood. He built housing for the poor, donated to churches, and funded soccer fields. To many in Medellín, he was a savior. In 1982, Escobar was elected to Colombia's Congress as an alternate representative. With political office came protection, legal immunity, and influence. But it didn't last. Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla exposed Escobar's drug ties. A few months later, Lara was assassinated. Escobar was expelled from Congress. The government turned against him. So did the U.S. Escobar retaliated with a campaign of terror. He bombed government buildings, murdered judges, prosecutors, police officers, and even journalists. His war against the state had begun. By the late 1980s, Escobar had declared war on extradition. His motto was simple: better a grave in Colombia than a cell in the United States. He unleashed a reign of terror. Car bombs exploded in Bogotá and Medellín. Judges and journalists were gunned down. Police officers were hunted, $500 for every cop killed. Between 1984 and 1993, Escobar ordered or inspired the deaths of thousands. His cartel corrupted officials at every level, bribing or killing anyone who stood in his way. Plata o plomo, silver or lead, was the choice he offered: accept a bribe or die. Then came the tipping point, Avianca Flight 203. The atrocity finally united Colombia's government, the U.S., and even rival drug traffickers against him. In 1991, Facing mounting pressure, Escobar struck a deal with the Colombian government. He would surrender on his terms. He was imprisoned in a self-designed luxury compound called La Catedral. It had a gym, bar, jacuzzi, and full-time staff. Visitors came and went freely. From inside, Escobar continued running his empire. When the government tried to move him to a real prison in 1992, he escaped through a hidden tunnel. It was the last time he would surrender. The Colombian government launched a full-scale manhunt. They formed the Search Block, a special police unit trained and equipped with U.S. help. The CIA and DEA joined forces. Surveillance planes tracked his communications. Phone intercepts, informants, and rival cartels provided tips. At the same time, a vigilante group known as Los Pepes, allegedly funded by rival cartels and possibly aided by Colombian intelligence, began killing Escobar's associates and seizing his assets. His empire crumbled. His family was put under protection. One by one, his lieutenants were captured or killed. On December 2, 1993, one day after his 44th birthday, Escobar made a phone call to his son. It was intercepted. The search block traced it to a neighborhood in Medellín. Police stormed the building. Escobar fled to the rooftop, firing a pistol. Moments later, he was shot in the leg, torso, and finally, a fatal shot to the head. Some say he was killed. Others claim he shot himself. Either way, the reign of Pablo Escobar was over. The death of Escobar marked the end of an era. He died alone on a rooftop, hunted by the nation he once terrorized. Cesar Gaviria had survived and did become president. Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe for more stories they'd rather keep in the dark.